Hey guys, it's great seeing you here again. Absolutely fantastic that you could make it for today's session about motivation. That even rhymes. Without further ado, I hope you had a really, really successful, good, enjoyable past couple of weeks since I last saw you. Today, we're going to be talking about something that is probably everyone's dream to achieve, to feel motivated for the most part of our days in the activities that we're doing. So I want to start with a question today. Do you know that moment when you're kind of sitting in front of the computer and just really staring at it and nothing's really happening? You know that you have to get that task done, but it's not really happening for you. Or perhaps the other scenario might be when you're actually doing everything around, particularly maybe cleaning the house, getting involved in all the small things. However, that really important thing that you need to get done is just not happening for you. Well, I ran a survey on LinkedIn a couple of weeks ago asking people if you have something really important to do, but you're feeling kind of unmotivated. What is your go-to behavior for the action that you take? And I give three options. The first one was to procrastinate. The second one was to force yourself to do it, and the third one was to motivate yourself to do it. So the results were really interesting. Majority of people, I've got it actually here, 29% of people selected procrastination. So that was the kind of, it wasn't the majority, but it was the first option. And a lot of people kind of fall into this category, myself included, used to in my past. The second one, which was the highest, was 71% of people forcing themselves into the task that they don't feel like doing. And then the last option, to motivate themselves to do it, that was 0% of people. One person got in touch with me through a direct message, and this person actually told me that yes, they do motivate themselves. However, when I was asking them more about how do they motivate themselves, this person said that it's coming in a form of like external motivation. So knowing that if I do this, then I'm going to reward myself. So that's the kind of external reward, external motivation. So I thought this was really interesting. And that's also, the reason for today's live to be around this topic of motivation, because a lot of us are kind of just okay with not being alive and feeling excited and being motivated about what we do. And we are accepting these patterns, these behaviors of the habits of actually procrastinating and forcing ourselves to do something that we don't feel like doing. So I wanted to dig into that. And from my research, from my work with people, I wanted to share with you what I found out about it and how you can actually go about motivating yourself. So that's what today's session is all about. So basically, when we think about motivation, what is motivation? Motivation is when you are in the state of being motivated. It really is just a bunch of chemicals happening in your body. So these are thoughts, these are your thoughts or your beliefs, and then your emotions, and then how your body feels. And what is happening within these kind of like patterns of our thoughts, our emotions, and our body, majority of us go over like 98% of the time on autopilot. We're just operating from something that we already know, we've been doing for a really long time. We're basically reliving our past. And what is happening is that many times we're not feeling motivated. And that is for the reason because we are not really aligned with where we want to be today, where we want to be in this particular situation. Makes sense, right? Because if we were aligned, if we were like super excited about this particular thing, we would be all over it. We would be doing it. So motivation really is not being aligned on some level, connected really with that thing that's in front of us. So we're going to go into that deeper, but I just want you to really see it on this like macro level and realize that it's very important to ask yourself, when you are, why do you even have this task in front of you? Why did you commit to it? From which place are you operating when you're committing to things? Are you operating from your present, of where you actually want to be, or are you operating from your past? some of the beliefs, some of the kind of expectations and pressures that you're feeling that you should be meeting, that you should be fulfilling. Is that really you? So that's really the first question, on the macro level, understanding why you might not be motivated. What is that thing that's in front of you? And I also want to say that, like, being unmotivated, this is not just some kind of nice to have. This is a serious thing, because if you're unmotivated and you're either forcing yourself or you're procrastinating, you're leaking massive amounts of energy. And this energy could really be used purposefully, mindfully, with a huge impact in other things. So, if you haven't recognized how urgent and important this is to solve, then this should really be the reason. You only have this one life to live. You only have this one day, to really do the things that you enjoy, to really enjoy this day, to enjoy, what is in front of you, what you're engaging with. So instead of leaking this energy and like giving it, in all these different directions, how can you mindfully take control, take hold of this energy and direct it to the ways, to the directions where you want to? So that's what we're going to talk about more. I just really want to kind of hold this concept, this trinity of the thoughts, the beliefs, the emotions, and the body, because this is incredibly powerful. And I think when it comes to motivation, people don't really realize how much of a blocker that can be. I think really generally, people overestimate the effectiveness of the to-do list. We think that we can just like put a couple of things to do and we're just going to do them. And we're underestimating the influence that our thoughts, our emotions, and our body energy has on our ability to actually get things done. Just really sit with this idea, because if you want to accomplish something and it's on your to-do list and you're emotionally dealing with something difficult, then you're not going to get it done. It's a very, apparent blocker in there. If you're feeling resistance of some sorts or misalignment, or you're feeling, there is a limitation, there is a belief that you can't get this thing done, you're not going to get it done. So it's not just that simple, to kind of expect yourself to get a lot of stuff done just because it's on your to-do list. You really have to kind of look at it on this macro level and then go in depth inside you, like check what is really happening, vis-a-vis this thing that's in front of you. What's happening inside you? What is that chemistry? And this is all the things that we already kind of talked about also when it comes to burnout and high performance, which is you got to make sure that you're actually giving yourself the biggest chance, the best possibility of accomplishing these things if you're expecting them to be done, if you're expecting high performance from yourself. So take care of the thoughts that you're having. Are you having empowering thoughts, or are you limiting yourself? Are you blocking yourself? What are the emotions? Are you working with your emotions? Are you giving them attention? Are you loving on yourself? And also on the body level, what's your body environment, including nutrition and the environment you're in, and the ability to actually have a new perspective, be inspired. All of this stuff comes down to, your whole self that you are. So these are the things to look at. And what I want to kind of move towards is, give you some solutions, obviously, and see how you can, once you obviously have the thoughts, the emotions, and the body in check, you're aware at least that, okay, there might be some things blocking me. How can you get things done better? And for this, I really love to refer back to the flow state, the flow methodology that we talked about in the previous session. So just refer back to my previous video if you want more detail. What I want to use for today's conversation from flow is just really 3 simple things. The very important thing, like in terms of being motivated and even having the slightest chance of having things done and having them done with this aliveness and joy, is to make sure that you have nailed the challenge versus skill ratio. So what flow talks about is that if the challenge is bigger than your skills, your ability to solve that challenge, you're going to be feeling anxious. You're going to feel like you can't really get this thing done. It's way too big than, you are really. And then vice versa, if your skills are way above the challenge that you have in front of you, you're going to get bored, because you're this thing is probably, you've done it so many times and it's just not exciting, not stimulating, not challenging enough for you. So this is the first thing you got to check. Why are you not being motivated about this thing in front of you? What I noticed, for example, is that I really struggle. I really have to force myself to get some certain admin tasks done. And there is a very simple solution to that. And that is to hire someone who is more junior, who is basically, me when I was a student or I was at the beginning of my career. That person is going to be happy because they're going to be motivated, because it's going to suit their skill level perfectly. They're going to be learning with that experience. And I can just very easily free up that energy that I would otherwise spend in, being stuck in this like resistance towards like getting this thing done and sitting there and like thinking about it. What I used to do was like think about it for days and weeks, trying to kind of plan, when am I going to get that thing done? And it's so much easier to actually just get someone to help and outsource that thing to them, delegate it to them, pay them adequately for that task and free up myself. And then I can focus on some of the things that are actually going to grow my potential and are going to be kind of aligned with my journey, where I'm going. So this is what, when you get to this point where your skills are higher than the challenge in front of you, I feel like it's can be solved like this. It's like the easiest thing in the world. You can just really pull in someone who can help you with that. And the other things within the flow framework that are really helpful are, and these ones are particularly helpful when the challenge is a little bit bigger than your skills. When it's a bit bigger than your skills, it's always great, but if it's too big, then that becomes difficult. So how do we grasp this when, there is a task in front of you and you want to be motivated, you want to feel like, it's happening for you. So, having clear goals, breaking down the task, breaking down this big thing, because if your skills, are not quite matching the challenge, and there is, a good gap between, which is great, you will be probably wondering like, how the hell do I get there? And that's where, these kind of responses like procrastination comes from, because you're also not sure how exactly go about it. So having really clear goals and breaking this thing down into smaller parts will help you identify the steps that you need to take. And I also want to mention here, same as with delegating things to someone, it's basically asking for help. So can you, in this scenario as well, just go within those smaller tasks and see who could help you with that? And many times when you break things down, you will realize that it's actually just like one question you have about this thing, and you just need to go and ask that one question to someone. So you're probably going to spend 2 minutes of their time, and it's going to really move the needle for you in order to solve this task and accomplish it. And the last bit, which I think is really helpful from the flow methodology, is having immediate feedback, which is really important. It's basically making sure that when you have immediate feedback, it's like playing a game basically. So flow is awesome because it gamifies the experience, so making sure that, you are actively searching for that immediate feedback. And this is also the reason why it's great to break things down into smaller tasks and have really clear goals around them, because that will assure that you are getting feedback immediately, and you will know, hey, is this done? Is this done? It will be really clear, if you accomplished it, and you will see the feedback of it, and then you can iterate on it, you can try again, or you can build on that. So really making sure that you are kind of constantly engaged, constantly involved, breaking it down to the pieces that are easily digestible for you. And this, my friends, will really assure that you are going to feel motivated from the inside. Because once you solve that macro level, and you will make sure that you know why this thing is even in your life, like why did you even put it on your to-do list? Why did you even say that you wanted to get it done? Then using these very simple, clear steps will really allow you, practically to merge with that experience and to make it just to basically put it in a form that is manageable for you, and that will 100% increase your hope for getting the things done, your excitement about actually getting into it, because you will know, hey, this is clear to me, this is what I'm doing today, tomorrow this is what I'm doing, and it will not feel like this huge kind of like blob that's in front of you and you're like, I don't know what to do with this, or oh my god, I've done this so many times, this is so boring. So these are just some of the techniques that I find really helpful for myself, and also, when I'm working with people to see how we can really make sure that you don't have to be stuck in this demotivating, unmotivated kind of states where you are just wasting energy. You're like processing everything inside you because you can't run away from it. You know that it's on that list and it's not getting done. So how can you really take charge, take control of the situation, and make sure that you're getting it done and being motivated while you're getting it done? And also this approach really allows you to create this spaciousness and like really rise to the point where you're not stuck in the same old habits. And it will allow you to question often, like, hey, why am I doing this? Is it time to move on to something else? So it's a model that will help you grow. It will help you expand. It will help you tap into new territories. It will make you feel more fulfilled and, feel more rewarded. You're accomplishing more because, like things like kind of procrastinating and then leaving things to the last moment. I'm pretty sure this has happened to you so many times. You actually get really close to the deadline and you end up actually really slipping into that flow, but it's too late. You literally have like 1 hour before the deadline, and then you start regretting because that this challenge is amazing and you could have spent more time with it and the result would have been better. So this is really just to enable you to be more effective and bring in more kind of like ease into the process of getting things done. So just to recap, basically the points that I wanted to make today, and to kind of allow you to really master the motivation and make sure that motivation is 100% there every time you're doing things, is first step, macro level, observe your energy, learn about your beliefs, learn about your emotions, learn about your body. What is preventing you from getting things done? At the same time, question your goals, question why these things are even there. So it's kind of like reevaluating, what is in your life, and then applying flow. So applying these steps where you will actually follow these very simple principles that will get you to the point of getting things done. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's session. It was a short and sweet one. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you have any questions, I'm reading the comments. Also, next time, feel free, if you have questions throughout this video, to just throw them in there. I'm always happy to jump and just kind of go with the flow and talk to you while you're here. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, where you will also get notifications about any upcoming videos. And if you feel like it, you can get in touch with me. I will see you in the next session in 2 weeks. Bye. Have a fantastic weekend.